Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we are going to have a little quick look on knowing who we are. So the best way for ourselves to know who we are is through our nervous system, and how we will know this is how we feel with certain areas in our life. And when we start to question whatever it is that we are feeling, that is where we can identify limiting beliefs. So I kind of wanted to just elaborate a little bit from the last video because we were looking at the idea of, I suppose, gaining freedom through compassion of ourselves and of others, and the freedom of knowing who we truly are. So what this means is when we get into that kind of expansive way of being, we are no longer wavering whenever we are doubting ourselves, because we come into this realization that we're human and we're going to have these little niggling doubts. But we know then that if we actually know ourselves truly and we know who we are, we will always have the autonomy to come back into ourselves, the knowing of ourselves and what is true to us and what we will engage with in our reality. So when we're actually manifesting then different kind of results in our life, and we're looking outside of ourselves, when we look at other people around us, really what it all comes down to is understanding that everyone and everything will be a reflection of where we are, either in our state or mind, and how good it feels in our nervous system. So if someone shows up in a way that is causing us to feel triggered, when we don't really know who we are, we're going to actually fall into that kind of trigger. But when we are actually knowing in a way that is not, doesn't have to be severe confidence, it just has to be this kind of given within ourselves. It's like a stability that we come back to. We will not really give it a reaction. So coming into our nervous system is how we first realize who we are in a way that we are able to determine from how we feel what we will allow and what we will not allow. So when we're creating boundaries or non-negotiables or things that we will either tolerate or not tolerate in our reality, particularly when we are dealing with people, but I know that it will also come to every area of our life, like our health and our career and money and all of that kind of thing as well. We want to actually have a kind of a good structured, even a list that we can even jump back into to remind ourselves of the values that we want to actually continue to stick by, and the boundaries and the non-negotiables that we have. So it doesn't mean that we have to have a big long list. I mean, you could literally have just like 2 to 3 non-negotiables that are, a real given that you will actually not allow into your experience, or even it may even just be 1 or longer if that is the case. But when you actually have a good structure of it all in your boundaries and your non-negotiables, you are more kind of confident in your ability to stick to, I suppose, your values, and to stick to your morality as well too. So a lot of us, when we create in our life, that's a given. We manifest, it's a given. But a lot of us, as we continue to become more aware of ourselves, we become more aware that we are actually moral human beings. So there is a moral code that is embedded within us all. And this moral code, it teaches us throughout our life what is right and what is wrong. So when we understand that the truth of who we are is always going to go with what feels right within ourselves, within our nervous system, even if things outside are looking like we're going down the wrong road, in a sense that because we're choosing this right kind of path, things are kind of unfolding in an undesirable way, or all of these kind of little things pop up. When we come into the realization that they are not actually unfolding in any desirable way, that there is something to kind of overcome here, or there's just a little something that I have to learn, it actually starts to dissipate more and more. Everything, things just start to flow a little better when we continue to stick to the truth of who we are, rather than kind of wavering on our boundaries or wavering on our non-negotiables because of what we see outside of us. So let's say, for instance, we get triggered because this kind of thing is undesirable, because maybe I expressed a boundary and this person didn't like it, and now I'm not feeling so good, and because I'm not feeling so good, I feel like I didn't go down the right path, and so that's going to cause me then to, oh, maybe I was being too harsh, maybe then I will, overlook this boundary and allow for this to continue to be stepped on, for instance. That's a kind of a example of how we actually fall into our 3D reality, fall into what is going on outside of us in a way that we are given in to something that doesn't feel good because we think that we're going to get a better result. But really, it actually comes down to how strong we can be in sticking to the values and sticking to the principles and, beliefs and things that we hold dear to our heart, that is true, that is coming from a loving kind of place. That is kind of where our power is, when we're able to stick to them and we're able to say, no, okay, this feels good to me. And, the whole world maybe not maybe think that this is maybe too sensitive of a boundary or something like that, but at the end of the day, if this is not making me feel good, then I'm going to stick with it. So it's those kind of little things that we incorporate into our daily life that actually help us to evolve. And we evolve in this way that we are more knowing about who we are. And it doesn't mean that, as I say, that we have to have this like fierce confidence. It comes in a kind of a genuine way where we just know. It's more like a humble confidence, in a way that it kind of stables us to just be ourselves, no matter what is going on around us, if that makes sense. So I just thought I'd do a quick video on that, and you can comment down below if you have any questions. But if you were to start to, if you want a kind of a direction to know how to write down whatever it is that feels good to your nervous system, ask yourself the questions. I know that this is where ChatGPT comes in very useful, in a sense that you want to be asking it what feels good to you. So, you give out whatever feels good to you and ask it to kind of create a little plan for your boundaries or non-negotiables. As I said before, I mentioned ChatGPT. If you could use it in a way that you are logged out of an account, because it won't give you a biased answer, because obviously the more that it knows about you, it's going to give you a biased answer, and it's going to kind of make it kind of in a way that will make you seem superior to your reality, which is not the case. You kind of want to have an unbiased answer where it's giving you the truth, and where you can actually navigate it in a way that suits you and suits your nervous system. So I just thought I'd do a quick video on that. And again, if you have any questions, you can comment down below and I'll chat to you soon.